start to create.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Share this out to your business bestie, your business partner, someone in your circle that is on the business journey with you. For we're joining this morning's edition of Contracting Chatter. How are you doing today? Yes. So, I'm setting up because quite frankly, I'm recording podcast episode today. And my guest today, he is amazing. I'm looking forward to recording today's episode, and then I'm recording an episode or two. So that's what the backdrop is about. I need to fix it now that I'm looking at it in the camera, but that's okay. So, anyway, so I hope you have your contractor's notebook out and you're ready to dive into the topic. So, and today's topic is, I have the wrong notes in front of me, but that's okay. So, today's, last night I released my training called Before the RFPs. So, you'll see it. I know it's posted all over my Facebook. It's posted on my Instagram. It's posted all over the place. I haven't posted it on TikTok yet. But actually, the training focuses on ensuring that your company is set up properly in a compliance manner. It focuses on knowing your customer. It talks about creating a contracting strategy, contracting plan. We're going to walk through a proposal or RFP tracking, which a lot of people don't do. They're doing government contracting like they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. And that's not how you do business, and that's not how you do contracting. I don't know what people are doing out here. So, yes, so I released that last night. Yay. It's a 5-week course. And I decided to release it as 5 weeks simply this way. I'm releasing a training because I'm going to do a training and then I'm going to follow it up with Q&A. And I decided to do it that way because in recent years, past years, I've released, or anytime I've done any type of master class, attended any type of class, anytime I've done anything involving any aspect of this training, people had questions. And versus doing this whole general admission, VIP, and all that other stuff, I said, let me just do one flat pricing and do 1 day for training, 2 days for implementation, 1 day for Q&A, and have a community where people can just drop questions. So that's what I did. The link, I need to update my link tree for TikTok, and you'll see if you go to my personal profile later on after the broadcast, I'm going to update that. So TikTok, you can check it out. It's all over my other platforms. LinkedIn, I need to update that as well. So you can see it. You can see the details. Look, if you're looking for a beautiful landing page out of me, you ain't going to get it. I understand people like landing pages because that's the industry norm. And at this particular moment in time, what you will receive is you will see a post with the graphic and with the content. It may take you to another page which has content, a graphic. It'll tell you what's in there. It'll give you a means to email to ask some questions. You'll see me go live multiple times, or you'll see a live screening multiple times that have some information. One thing that I've heard repeatedly ever since I started in business, and that I know to be true, when you get tired of being tired, and when you get tired of not knowing, you will take action. You don't need a landing page. You don't need any of that stuff. You get tired of being tired. You'll see that this program, this training class, meets the mail, and you will sign up and you'll go about your business. Now, the training class is $495 or 4 payments of $175. It's there. Go about your business. If you have any questions about the payment options, email me. But the price is the price. Um, if you're not able to make the pricing, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. I will offer the class again, and probably not until after my September event, but I'm gonna offer the class again. That's just where it is. That's just where it's at. So anyway, on to the next topic for today. There's a lot of things, new legislation coming out that every business owner, every contractor needs to be aware of. Um, the new Fair Pay Act is up for comments. Please, if their federal registry is where every piece of legislation is posted prior to it becoming law. Every law that is proposed gets posted to the federal registry. I know I've talked about this before. I am going to talk about it again, and I'm going to repeatedly talk about it. There's just the federalregistry.gov, and I know that's not the exact name, but if you just put it in your place it in your search engine, it will bring it up to bring it up. Every piece of legislation is posted there, even before it's voted on. And that is where the public can read the proposed legislation and comment on it. You'll know what the intent is. You know what is exactly in the bill. It's where a lot of these, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram or anywhere else, where a lot of these political pundits, it's where they get their information and share it with you 90% of the time. Go read it and comment on it. You will have an opportunity to shape these bills before they hit the street, or at the very least, vocalize what you like and what you don't like. This is an election year. And if you don't like something, and then if enough people say they don't like something, they're not going to vote on it. They're not going to pass it. They're not idiots. They want to get reelected. So you have the Fair Pay Act that's coming through on a federal contracting level. There's actually a new regulation coming through on the human resources side of business. I'm gonna have to look at it again, and because I'm using both of my devices and did not charge my third device, I can't pull it up right this very second. So there's a new labor law out for comment. I'm gonna report on that tomorrow. So they're pushing through a lot of legislation around pay and around labor. So anybody who owns a business, you need to be aware of it and be on your P's and Q's. Because anytime they're proposing a lot of labor laws and a lot of legislation around labor laws, there's you need to be careful of that. Because normally it affects smaller entities. And what I mean by smaller entities, I mean companies with revenue of less than half a million. And it affects you more because, quite frankly, it increases your overhead. And because increase in overhead decreases your profit, it affects your sustainability. And I mean, it just is what it is. You have a smaller base to absorb this shock. And then you have to struggle with, do I increase my pricing or do I just absorb the shock? And if your pricing is where it's supposed to be, in the 18th place, you can absorb your shock a little more. Well, I'll talk about pricing and proper pricing sometime next week. Most businesses aren't priced correctly, which is why the slightest thing affects you. Please stop sending me invites to go live. I'm not doing dual lives. That is not what this platform is for. That is not what this live is about. um, Anywho, that threw me off. Python. Sorry. I'm sorry. That threw me off. These. I keep getting multiple invites to go dual live with people. I don't even know who they are. And it just threw my train of thought way off. Um, anyway, I'll come back and finish that thought off as soon as it picks back up. So check out the Federal Registry. You want to stay in the know about the upcoming legislation. The so-called TikTok ban is still sitting in the Senate. If you sell or if your business is solely based on TikTok, you have a bigger issue than whether this app is going away or not. Um, can we really talk about this thing? You have a bigger issue than whether or not this app is going away. No business should operate off of one social media platform. Period. In a discussion. You should have a website. You should have you should have a presence all across a presence across the very meaning. You should have an email list. So if TikTok going away means the end of your business, you have a bigger issue with sustainability than TikTok. Even with, and there's a lot of creators on TikTok that I follow that I'm gonna tell you, they give great news. They report on news I don't hear anywhere else. They need to be somewhere else other than TikTok. They need to be streaming somewhere else other than TikTok. And before somebody else say, well, you get censored everywhere else. Well, you know what? They need to figure it out. Because the fact that they're only on TikTok is a problem. I follow another creator. Guess what? He's not worried about it. And I love him. He's not worried about it because he knows how to ebb and flow and move and shake. This is not the first time at the rodeo for him. So anybody who is a creator of any type, if I don't care if you're a news creator, I don't care if you sell candy, I don't care if you sell shirts, I don't care if you are a mentor or a coach, I don't care if you're a social activist. You should not exist on just one platform. So the so-called TikTok ban is still sitting in the Senate. They're still playing with it. We should hear something about that shortly. One way or the other, it looks like they're going towards some type of partial ban. I still feel like what's going to happen, it's going to come under U.S. business control. Um, it's not going to do what people think it's going to do. It's not even going to do what Congress thinks it's going to do. I think this is a whole lot of, I don't want to use the term smoke and mirrors. I just think this is a whole lot of nonsense. However, I really think this is a wake up call for any business that's operating purely on one platform. And it's a great teaching tool. Simply put, it is a great teaching tool. However, contractors, if you've been watching, or anybody who wants to be a contractor, if you've been watching this whole thing play out, you should also be watching the appropriation bills, the appropriation committee. You should watch them. And you should watch it from the viewpoint of how things get approved through Congress. You should have a basic understanding of that. You should have an understanding of what the spending priority is for the year. And that way you can adjust your strategic plan accordingly. Not create, adjust. No contractor should start the year without some type of strategic plan and adjust it if necessary throughout the course of the year based upon whatever the government's spending initiative is for that year. President Biden, during the State of the Union address, has stipulated or stated what his initiatives are this year for him. Um, he wants to focus on education. Dr. Biden, his wife, is spearheading that initiative. So, any business who is focused on education, you should be looking for RFPs. You should be attending conferences that are coming out of the White House. You should be attending anything of that nature. Matter of fact, you will see a lot of roundtables coming out of the White House and coming out of the Department of Education around transformation in education. In fact, you should start hosting them and sending your press releases to the White House. So you can start putting yourself in the forefront when these initiatives start rolling out. Uh, that's just one way to get yourself ahead of the game. Some ways, now, I'm going to say this 90% of government contracting is responding to RFPs and RFIs. There are ways to become sole source. There are ways to do that, but you have to position yourself correctly, and you have to position yourself in such a way that the person or the entity doing business with you is willing to bypass the RFP process to do business just with you and to be willing to take the smoke if they're called in a question for it, especially on the federal level. So if you want somebody, to take the heat for bypassing the process, you need to ensure that your business is compliant, stable, and can walk the walk and talk the talk. I mean, you need to be able to do that anyway, but especially if you want somebody to sole source you. I sort of hint at it in my book, Keys to Government Contracting. I'm adding to it for a second edition that I hopefully will be out in September in time for my conference. Um, I'm not sure if I will get the second edition out for my conference. I have some very heavy, lofty goals. I might have to hire somebody. And you know what? You can't do business alone. So I'm gonna have to hire somebody because I have some lofty goals. I have this conference coming out September 17th through the 20th here in the Queen City of the South, Charlotte, North Carolina. And I have a lot of programs launching from that conference that's going to be unveiled. I have an unveiling ceremony. And the conference is not a pitch fest. So don't worry about somebody pitching to you throughout the conference. I have an unveiling ceremony the day before the conference. So the conference is pure content and training. Um, when you attend the conference, it's the Contracting and Business Conference. When you attend the conference, you're in session learning things you can implement in your business when you walk out of the session. When you're in your networking breaks, I want you to network. Your next contracting and business partner is in the room with you. Network. I built in panels where you can submit questions, and we're going through the questions, and the panel will discuss those questions, and you will hear industry experts, not industry experts because they read a book. No, these people are running business. These people are in the government. These people are the movers and shakers and the money makers. And you will hear them talk about what it takes to run a business, what it takes to get a government contract. Even if you're on a contractor and you're thinking about it, or you're a government contracting supporter and you're just looking for business acumen, this conference is for you. So the decision makers will be in that room. So I'm inviting you to come to Contracting Business Intensive and just be in the room. Continental breakfast and lunch is included in your ticket price. So outside of the ticket, you'll only be responsible for your hotel room. So with that, once again, TikTok, if you go to my link tree, I need to update my link tree so that it will show the link to the conference. If you go to my link tree, it'll take you to the conference. All my other platforms, the conference invite is up. Go purchase your ticket. It's here in Charlotte. Charlotte's beautiful in September. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. Charlotte has very mild temperate weather. The only thing that bugs about Charlotte is it's winter, because Charlotte winters act like you get all four seasons at the same time during the day. Anyway, next. So, just to do a summary, check out the Federal Registry. We have the Fair Pay Act that's coming out that is basically redundant, but check out the Federal Registry about the Fair Pay Act. Voice your opinion on it. While it's on the registry, you can read it and voice your opinion. yay or nay. If they receive a lot of nays, they will either pull it back and rework it, or they will pull it back and not even vote on it. It is while it's on the registry that you have a very powerful voice outside of PACs and super PACs. It's just that people don't exercise their options and exercise their voices. And then get frustrated when things get passed they don't like. Especially if you're in business and you're operating a business and you're sitting in the seat of the CEO of your enterprise. There are a lot of HR related, employer related bills coming out. A piece of compliance, if you are operating an LLC, you want to keep in mind the FINRED regulation, and you want to ensure that you submit your LLC, registration by the end of the year, I believe it is. And you're not registering with the state, you're registering with the federal government. And the legislative history behind that is they're trying to ensure that all these propped up LLCs are not being used to quite quite frankly money launder. Um, I check in the legislative history about stuff, and that is the main concern. They're concerned about money laundering. Morning, Ron. Um, so if you're operating an LLC, please go to FINRED, register your LLC. The expert I have, I'm recording a podcast episode today. If you operate a business, and that is like 90% of my audience, when this episode drops, and I just may reorganize my episodes so that it drops earlier than later, it will blow your mind. And I believe I'm gonna see if I can get him to do 2 sessions at my conference. He doesn't know I'm asking that. So if he sees this broadcast, consider this your unofficial invite. Anyway, I'm gonna see if he will come speak at the conference. Um, he's amazing, and I'm gonna tell you, his tax seminar or his tax talk. Now, I've been doing taxes ever since I was in college. And he hit on something in taxes. Even I was like, wait a minute. Let me go back and double check that. And when I went and double checked, I was like, I'll be dead now. I need to go back and sit through that section again. Which is why I don't do business taxes on that level. If your revenues in your business is over $1 million, I will refer you to somebody. But yes, he's good. So with that, join me tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I went over it yesterday. Chatter was a full hour yesterday. And you're not going to get me today because I'm recording podcast episodes today. So I need to get off on time today. However, if you missed Chatter yesterday, every episode is posted on my YouTube channel, LT&A Consulting Group. Go back and check it out. My podcast is Contractor Conversations. It's on YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And the last episode, which dropped last Friday, is on audit readiness. And it's a great podcast, whether you're a government contractor or not. That's a great podcast episode for any business owner to be in, to have you need to be audit ready. If you're a business owner and you use any type of payment receiving system, Square, Stripe, PayPal, you need to be audit ready. And then I'm gonna drop this last note nugget, and then I'm out. If you're only receiving money one way, like you only use Stripe or you only use PayPal, you are setting your business up. Because while you're being audited, they don't allow you to take money. So if PayPal, say if that's the only way you take money, while PayPal is auditing you, you are no, they stop everything. You cannot take money while they audit you. And PayPal can take from a week. And I was at a conference, and this one person said if PayPal took 6 months to unfreeze her PayPal account. So if you only receive funds in your business through one methodology or one method, you are setting yourself up. And something my speaker this morning spoke on when I was in his training yesterday, that banks and the government do not view cash app payments as business payments. I was floored. So I'm gonna get him to talk about that on during the recording and get him to break that down for us. He's actually a CPA, so I'm gonna get him to break that down. So you're doing a disservice to your business if that is the only way you accept business funds. So I'm gonna get him to complete that conversation for us so we can get a greater understanding of what that is. So until tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am your host, Luciana Turner, and that ends this morning's edition of Contracting Conversation. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day.